After helping over 85 e-commerce brands scale their email revenue and managing thousands of A/B tests, I've discovered that most e-commerce brands are having underperforming welcome series flows and that they're leaving massive amounts of money on the table. The difference between a 6-figure or a 7 or 8-figure e-commerce store isn't just better product or more ad budget. It's systematic optimization of the email flows that generate 40 to 70% of their automated email revenue. Today, I'm going to show you the exact optimization strategies we use to transform underperforming welcome series flows into revenue generating machines, covering the 5 highest impact tests you can run for your own welcome series flow to boost the performance immediately. This video is specifically for e-commerce store owners who already have a welcome series flow but want to optimize it for maximum revenue. If you don't have a welcome series flow yet, make sure to check out my full tutorial video right now. I'll put a link in the description down below. Now let's dive into this video. High impact test number 1. Your offer. This is something that I see go wrong all the time. E-commerce brands testing everything except for their offer. While their offer is the thing that's going to make the biggest difference for the performance of the welcome series flow. Most e-commerce brands are just sticking to the typical 10% off and calling it a day. While for a lot of other brands, a different offer makes way more sense. So my tip, always make sure to split test a percentage off versus a dollar amount off. Typically, if your AOV is under the $100, a percentage off performs better, and everything above the $100, a dollar amount works better. Also make sure to split test a threshold. So for example, a higher discount when people buy over $100. You would be surprised to see the difference in performance. And if you are a brand with a super high AOV, it definitely makes sense to test a percentage off or a dollar amount off versus a incentive where you give away a free gift. A free gift with any order. Especially for the high AOV brands, we see much better results with this kind of offers. And another great idea, let's say you have a 7-part welcome series flow. Make sure that after 5 emails, you split test a variant where you give away a new incentive. So if after 5 emails, people haven't used a 10% off discount, you might want to change the offer to a better or higher discount or a different kind of discount. So instead of percentage off, a free gift or free shipping. Then you can maximize the revenue that you are generating with your welcome series flow. High impact test number 2, your first welcome email. And this is a bit of a generic one, but what I see go wrong all the time is that e-commerce brands are split testing their welcome email 5 or 6 or 7, and they're neglecting the first welcome email. And this is weird, because if you take a look at the data, your first welcome email is the email that generates the most amount of revenue, and it's the email with the highest open rate. And this makes sense because people just have been on your website, they filled in the details on the sign-up form, they just subscribed to your newsletter, and now they receive your first welcome email. So they are in buying mode, but that's why this first email is always your highest performing email. So wouldn't it make sense to make sure that this email is optimized the most? Yes, right. So put most of your focus on optimizing this first email, and automatically you will get much more revenue with your total welcome series flow. So there are a couple of A/B tests that I would always recommend for your first welcome email. First test being testing a designed email versus a plain text email. Oftentimes we use designed first welcome emails so we can set the tone with the right branding for a specific brand. But in some cases, a plain text email where we just give away the discount code and that's it performs better. Always make sure to run this simple A/B test for your own e-commerce brand as well. The second test is to test product blocks versus no product blocks, or even go deeper and test bestsellers versus new arrivals versus product categories. In a typical first welcome email, I always see product blocks, which is great, of course. Typically, these are like 3 to 5 bestsellers. And a lot of times that's like the highest conversion thing that you can do for your first welcome email. But for some brands, it makes more sense to show new arrivals or to show product categories. And even in some cases, this first welcome email performs better if you do not show product blocks. Trust me, we have seen it. Always make sure to run this kind of A/B test for your own brand. Another test is social proof versus no social proof. Again, a lot of times we see in the first welcome email that there's like 1, 2, or 3 reviews included inside this first email. In some cases, it makes more sense to not include those reviews, and we see higher conversions if your email is shorter and without the reviews. Sounds weird, but especially for impulse buy products, sometimes emails perform better without the social proof. Another test that you can run is lifestyle images versus product images. Especially for fashion brands, this makes sense, because fashion brands always like to set the tone with a lot of branding in their welcome series flow. But in some cases, it makes more sense to just show plain and simple product images where people can clearly see the clothing that you're showing. And those type of emails are performing better than the emails where you have more lifestyle images with a lot of things going on in the email, but people can't really see clear what the clothing is. Always make sure, if you're a fashion brand, to test lifestyle images versus product images. And this doesn't just apply to fashion brands. Also make sure to test it out for your own brand if this is applicable. And the last test that I would recommend for your first welcome email is your landing page. This can also make a big difference, especially if you're an e-commerce store who already gets a lot of traffic and has a lot of new email subscribers on a daily basis. Oftentimes, people are just linking to their homepage and calling it a day. Make sure to split test landing on the homepage versus landing on the bestseller page or landing on a collection page. And this can really change the experience that this new email subscriber has. So make sure to split test the landing page as well. Now, before continuing to the third high impact test for your welcome series flow, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more weekly content on how to improve the revenue of your e-commerce store with email marketing. Yes, you've clicked on that subscribe button. Cool. Let's continue with the next test. High impact test number 3. The length of your welcome series flow. Most brands are either sending one welcome email or have like a default 3-part sequence. Again, this is something that you really want to split test. Some e-commerce brands perform better with a short welcome series flow, but in some cases, a longer welcome series flow works better. Here's what I found. For impulse buy products underneath $50, a shorter welcome series flow performs better than a longer flow. So a 2 to 4 part sequence outperforms the 7 or 8 part sequence, simply because your new email subscriber is ready to buy immediately. But for higher value products or for complex products, it makes more sense to have like a 5 to 9 part welcome series flow, because you need to build trust with this new email subscriber, or you need to educate them on your product. So again, don't just stick to like the default 3-part sequence. Make sure to test out what works best for your specific situation. High impact test number 4. The types of emails. The typical welcome series flow has a couple of emails in it. Think of a brand story email, a founder story, a bestsellers email, a us versus them angle, and a social proof email. And don't get me wrong, these are emails that perform really well for a lot of e-commerce brands. But in some cases, it makes sense to include different kind of emails. So what I always recommend is to just use your common sense. So what kind of information would your new email subscriber need from you to actually buy from you? And in some cases, that means that an us versus them angle, for example, is not needed, but it's better to include like an email where you highlight one specific feature of your product. So to give you an idea, here are some ideas of other angles that you can include in your welcome series flow. So think of a user-generated content email, press mentions, media publications, frequently asked questions, trending products, the new arrivals, staff picks, bundles, essentials, a gift guide, a gift yourself angle, a feature highlight where you pinpoint one specific feature, a benefit highlight where you highlight one specific benefit, a problem solution angle, a before after angle, behind the scenes, how your product is made, and of course the meet the team angle. These are all different angles that you can try out for your own brand to see what angle works best for your audience and for your brand. So don't be afraid to go outside of the typical welcome series flow outline that you'll see on YouTube. Make sure to test out what works best for your specific brand. And then finally, high impact test number 5, personalized product recommendations. Again, this is something that I see go wrong all the time. E-commerce brands who have static product blocks that are beautifully designed, but they're not personalized. And don't get me wrong, this is something that we often do for our own clients as well, just having static product blocks that are designed. And in a lot of cases, that works really well. But in some cases, if you're an e-commerce brand who has a lot of products or a lot of different product categories, it makes more sense to include dynamic product recommendations with the product feed feature in Klaviyo. So you show specific products based on the viewing history of this specific person or of your whole website traffic. And these specific recommendations can perform better than just the static recommendations that you do with your typical welcome email. So this is a super powerful A/B test to run for your own brand. And not only that, with the product feed feature in Klaviyo, you can build multiple product feeds based on different conditions. So you can not only test dynamic recommendations versus static product blocks, but also which kind of recommendation condition works best for your welcome flow audience. Especially since this is a new audience, this is a super valuable A/B test to run. Let me show you in a Klaviyo account how this product feed feature works. So we're one of our clients' Klaviyo accounts, and in the left menu underneath content, you can go to products. Over here, you'll see all your products loaded in from your Shopify account. And then over here, you can see product feed. And then when you click on it, you can already see some product feeds over here for this specific client. But over here, you can click on this button, create product feed. And if you click on it, you'll see that you can give this product feed a name. And then it asks you what products should the customers view first. And then you can select best-selling products, most viewed products, both best-selling and most viewed products, newest products, or random products. And then you can also select personalized for each customer. So products a customer has recently viewed, products a customer has added to cart, or products a customer may also like. And if you click on this last one, you can base this based on the customer's purchase history, the customer's viewing history, or both viewing and purchase history. And of course, we're talking about the welcome series flow, so there's no purchase history. But it could make sense to test out if the viewing history is like interesting. And you might wonder, hey, this is a new email subscriber, so they might not have seen any products on store yet. You're right. So in that case, we can have like a buffer. Let me show you. So you can select the customer's view history over here, or you can just select products a customer as recently viewed, kind of the same. And then underneath, Klaviyo will say this. So if the customer has limited history, which is probably the case since this is for a new email subscriber, what should they view instead? So instead, if there's no viewing history, it will show best-selling products overall, most viewed products overall, a combination of both, the newest products, or random products. So you can have like a buffer in case someone hasn't viewed a product on your page yet. So then you can select both best-selling and most viewed products, for example. And then you can even select over the last 90 days or over the last 3 days. And that's not it. You can also set up additional filters because it could be for a new audience that you just want to show specific product categories, for example, or just products within a certain price range or with a lot of stock available. So what you can do in here is add additional filters. So for example, show products where stock level is between minimum stock and maximum stock. And you can add another filter where the price is between a minimum price and a maximum price, and only when the category includes, and then you can select the product categories that you have filled in your Shopify account. So this way you can craft the ultimate product feed for your own brand and only show dynamic recommendations based on the conditions that you selected. And again, this is a super powerful A/B test to run because showing personalized recommendations versus static recommendations is of course a super interesting A/B test to run. Not only that, also the different kind of conditions that you can select is something that can actually make a difference for the performance of that specific email. So make sure to split test this fully for your own e-commerce brand. And that's it. 5 high impact tests that you can run for your own welcome series flow to improve the conversions of one of the most important email flows out there. If you want to complete step-by-step process for setting up a welcome series flow in your Klaviyo account with a full outline and email examples, make sure to check out this video and make sure to subscribe to the channel for more weekly content on how to grow your e-commerce store with email marketing. I hope to see you in the next video.